Okay, guys, I was not planning on coming back on the air tonight, but so much happened in the last few minutes. I wanted to get a quick video on here. Even if you can't be on here on the live, I want to tell you what's up, so we can know, really just know so everyone can know where we're at with the jury and what's happened. It's exciting and it's moving quickly. So let me tell you where we're at. When the judge dismissed the jury to their deliberations, or gave them their charge so they could begin their deliberations, she pulled out the alternates and selected those. They're not deliberating, but they are sequestered as well. She sent them on their way and basically said there's going to be dinner. We'll give them some time. The court's going to be staying here. Well, the jury must have gone straight to work because it wasn't very long at all before we had them contacting the judge and saying, we'd like to see different pieces of evidence. We'd like to have the map, which was Exhibit 15. They say we'd like to watch the video number 55, I believe it was, which was the video of the grannies being hit. It was a security camera video of the dancing grannies when the car was traveling through that area. They wanted to see it at 40% speed. They watched that. They also came back and said they wanted to see the video from the elementary school, from where basically the vehicle and the allegations that relate to that event that happened prior to the parade. Crazy. And here's the takeaway. Here's what I'm getting from this. And this is what I think is important. The speed at which the jury is moving from one item to the next, to me, indicates that they are reaching a consensus rapidly. And the speed at which they're going through this is impressive. Why did they start immediately with the dancing grannies? Why was that the first really evidence they wanted to see? Did they skip to the first one they had a question about? And what I'm thinking about this is there a point in that video where possibly the video might depict something that would give them cause to believe that possibly for one of the injuries or more of the injuries, he didn't have intent? So is it like, for instance, if he was looking backwards and didn't know he was going to hit somebody? Maybe, is that what they're headed to? Is that what they're looking for in this video when they slow it down? Is there anything that would show that they didn't have intent? Or is the state proven that beyond a reasonable doubt, and the jury going to accept all that? We don't know. But what we do know is shortly after they watched those school videos, which the judge, the prosecution, and the defense all watched at the same time. They have the technology so that the courtroom can watch the videos at the same time it's being broadcast into the jury room. And shortly after that happened, the jury came back with a note through the jury bailiff and basically said, okay, we want to be done for the night, and start again in the morning. So the judge prepared a special list of instructions that's very much like the one she's been giving them all throughout this proceeding. She prepared those instructions. Basically, the only change was that they shouldn't discuss this when they're not meeting in the jury deliberation room all together. So that's the only change to those instructions. Then she sent them on their way. So they're done for tonight. Nothing will happen between tonight and tomorrow morning at 8:30. 8:30 is when trial starts. It was interesting because Mr. Brooks objected. He's like, "Come on, Judge, 8:30." Like, it was as if he's like, "I have to get up that early for this." It was just, he never ceases to amaze me to what level of low behavior he will stoop to. He was upset that he wasn't getting a shower tonight. He was upset that he's protested. He's objected to the jury seeing the evidence. He said on relevance issues. It's bizarre. I think I counted 4 times since the jury went into deliberations that he's raised the issue of subject matter jurisdiction with the judge. The guy is he's nuts. He's off his rocker. And every single time, the one thing I will say, when he talks to the judge, his demeanor has changed. Instead of being the grumpy, I'm going to get it word in, we're going to fight thing, he suddenly turned into like this creepy, smiley dude. He's like, "Hey, Judge, you know what's coming, right? Subject matter jurisdiction, we going to address it?" And it's like, the dude is like flipped. He's flipped in his head. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I can't believe we're this obsessed, says Catlaw. Oh man, I was honestly thinking they would be done tonight. There was a chance. I literally, right before this, I said to my wife, I said, "Jen, this could be it." The judge was saying to everybody, she said, "Guys, stay close, don't go far," type thing. And I thought she might have a feel that this could be over right away. I think she may be right, but I think it will come tomorrow morning. Obviously, it's not going to come tonight. We know that much because she's excused them and ordered them not to talk about it till the morning. But the fastest they went through those the speed at which they went through those different exhibits they wanted to see was nuts. And Radagast brings up the Reddit thing. If you guys didn't listen, the judge said after she dismissed the jury, she says, "I've got something I want to talk to you guys about, the two parties." And you're like, what would she bring up now, right? Well, this is crazy. She says, I got an email this morning, or the court clerk got an email this morning, where someone was reporting that on Reddit, there's a subreddit for, I think she said it was Justice for Darrell, is a subreddit for, I guess there's a group of people that, it's sort of a spin-off of Justice for Johnny, I think. So that gives you an idea of what their, what sort of justice they feel is appropriate. But somebody on that subreddit anonymously posted and said that they were one of the jurors and they were sharing information about what it's like inside the court. So she's looked at it. The judge has already ordered the bailiff or the sheriff's office to investigate this, and the forensic department is doing that. So this is serious. I mean, they can literally they can find the guy who did this, assuming it's a guy or a gal. The state isn't as concerned. They in discussing this with the judge, they said, we've read it, and really, we don't think there's anything in there that's would give this any weight, any credence, that this is actually a juror who's going online and breaking the rules, and talking about this case when they're ordered not to. Darrell Brooks, on the other hand, he's completely confused. He's like, what's Reddit, right? He's like, I don't even know what this is. And he's trying to, you can see he was like mulling over, seeing like how he can use this to his benefit. And so he's reading it. And eventually after, at another break when the jury had asked for different evidence, he's like, Your Honor, by the way, this Reddit thing, yeah, it really concerns me, because clearly the things they talk about, this post talks about, they would only know this if they were in the courtroom or on the jury, because how else would they know? And prosecution goes, well, it is being live streamed worldwide on the internet. And it's like, oh man, just crazy. Anyway, Bruce, isn't he right that he should be able to bring up to the jury that jury nullification is in the hands of the jury, although it's not a right? This detail is more important than one man. Bruce, what you're getting at, the judge actually addressed. She flat out said, juries have the power of jury nullification, but the prosecution and the defense are not allowed to instruct them as to that. And that's a law that's on the books, according to my understanding in Wisconsin. So he was ordered not to bring it up. He did it anyway. There was an objection, and that whole scenario is bizarre, because the prosecution gave their closing argument. Mr. Brooks refused to abide by the rules that the judge set out regarding all the things he couldn't bring up, specifically jury nullification. And so the judge was about to rule that he had waived his right to make that closing argument. And instead, Sue Opper pipes up and says, Your Honor, if it's all right, let's let him do it. Go ahead. Let him talk. Let him say the things that he's going to say. I'll raise an objection, and if it gets really bad, we can cut him off then, but let's let him talk. And I was thinking, why would she do that, right? What would the prosecution benefit from saying, hey, let's let the defense really get a chance at this? And when you think about this, those of us that watch the case, we've been seeing everything as it's happened. All the delays in the morning before the jury comes in. We've been seeing the delays after, every time the jury's had to step out of the room so we can talk things over with the judge. The jury hasn't seen that. They might have had a little snippet of it. They've heard little bits of conversation as they come in and immediately out of the courtroom. They've heard him mumble under his breath, things like that. But for the most part, they have no clue. They have no clue what we know about Darrell Brooks and what he's been bringing up all these times. And how would that look if the jury, after they've heard Sue Opper give the prosecution's closing, right? And the judge took a break and then comes back, and it would have been like this. It would have been Mr. Brooks was in the other courtroom. He's probably waving his hands and holding up a sign that says objection, and the judge would be saying, jury, the defense has waived their right for a closing argument. Well, the jury can see clearly that the guy's like, hey, I'm over here, guys, it's me. I want to talk. That would have looked awful. The optics is just awful. So what Sue did was amazing. The DA was just on her game, and it was a smart move on her count. So she let him talk, and he pushed every single boundary he could. He brought in the sympathy stuff he wasn't supposed to bring in. He testified to stuff that wasn't evidence. It was just, it was bad. It was bad, but it really didn't do him any favors. And at the closing of that, it was really, you could say it was a longer version of his opening statement, and it contained almost all the same stuff. But oh man, it was crazy. Tomorrow, I think, is the day. I don't think we have to wait any longer. I think tomorrow, and most likely before lunch, this jury is going to complete their work and will be informed the judge that they've reached a verdict. That's my call. That's my guess. I may be wrong. I have been wrong before, so I reserve the right to do that. I'll do that now. But Bruce, did that answer your question about the jury nullification? He is right. They have that right, or not the right. They have that power. But he doesn't have the right to instruct them. Anyway, so that's where that stands. I realize you sounded suspect. Jury nullification is a hot issue with a lot of people. But the judge clearly, she spelled out, yes, jury nullification is a real thing. They have the power to do that. But what would they really be nullifying if you look at it? Step back and look at it like this, Bruce. If the jury comes back and exercises that jury nullification power, what would they be saying? Would they be saying, yes, we believe he's guilty, but we'll find him not guilty because we find the law against murder is wrong? I can't see the logic where nullification would even come into play here. A lot of times you'll find nullification cases where the jury might be ruling on, say, like someone's personal drug use, where the only person really harmed was the user, like a marijuana case or something. Okay, and the jury might say these laws aren't fair. The way that he's been punished for what he's doing, he really wasn't hurting anybody, so this is a bad law in that light. And that's where jury nullification might come into play, and we tend to see it more often in criminal cases of that nature. But seriously, mowing down 5 adults and 1 kid, or killing 5 adults and 1 kid, and running down, 61 other people? Is there any jury out there that'd be like, yeah, that should be legal. That should be all right. He shouldn't, he shouldn't go to jail for that. I can't see jury nullification being an issue at all, Bruce. So that's where I'll leave that. Anyway, crazy. Yes, he did lie about the recall and the 2010 escape throttle. He did try to bring that in, and Sue Opper objected. And the judge ruled that it was stricken from the record and that it wasn't evidenced. It wasn't correct. Crazy stuff. Anyway, thank you guys. I just want to say, if you want to follow my analysis, live analysis, and follow the live stream tomorrow, it's going to be amazing. We're going to follow, and we're going to talk about every single thing that the jury does as far as what evidence they're watching, and maybe try to figure out why we feel that's important. Assign a value to what they're doing, and maybe try to get in their heads just a little bit, as we are dying to know what they're thinking. We will all find out soon enough, I'm sure, and I think it will happen before lunch. But if you join me tomorrow, let me. It would be awesome. I'd love to find out what you think as well. So tomorrow morning, 8:30 Wisconsin time. So that makes it 9:30 Eastern time where I am. You'll have to do the math for wherever you are around the world, but that's what's going to happen. Get some rest tonight. Okay, buckle up. It's going to be crazy. Grab your drink, your beverage of choice. We might have a little drinking game on our stream like we normally do. Today it was water for me. My doctor would be so proud. But might have to do a caffeinated beverage tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Fire starters, thanks for popping in here. Good evening, all. I'm sorry I came back for a nightcap just in time to see him say he was not getting up that early for the 8:30 court. Oh man, did you see him protest about not getting a shower? Oh man, it's been so it's cringeworthy is what it is. It's like, how can you want to take him and say, Mr. Brooks, how could you possibly be thinking what you're thinking in light of the situation you're in? Are you completely that unaware of, you're really going to complain that you haven't seen your kid, your baby that you had, that was born after you were in jail? You're going to complain about that while you're standing in the room with the families of the people who you killed? That's going to be your go-to to try to draw sympathy from the jury? I don't think it worked. I really don't think it worked. We probably have jurists that are meticulous. That's what I'll say. We have people who want to make sure they're doing the right thing, and maybe have a couple questions on a few things, but I don't think we have a strong holdout. I just can't see the jury moving through evidence requests that quickly if they had someone who was really being a stick in the mud and didn't want to budge on a certain point. I don't think that's what we have. And because of that, I think we're going to have a verdict sooner rather than later. Chandra, congratulations on 2,000 subs. I hit it. You guys are amazing. Chandra, I think you were the 2,000th. You came early, but you'll be my 2,000th. I'll thank you for that one. It's been awesome. Great explanation of jury nullification. Thank you, Cat Law. Hopefully that helped. Chandra says, scroll up. It's wild. This is crazy. It is getting crazier by the day. And tomorrow, I can almost guarantee we're going to hear a couple things. We're going to hear Mr. Brooks ask if the judge is going to revisit the issue of subject matter jurisdiction, because it hasn't been proven for the record with lawful law. We're going to see that again. I hope you get to see what I saw if you didn't see it. The little creepy, smiley, happy, I'm your buddy type Darrell Brooks, where he's almost like trying to joke and be friendly with the judge. I will say I saw something tonight that I hadn't seen ever before, and that's when the judge asked if there were any objections about her doing something, and Darrell Brooks said no. I don't think he's ever done that. I didn't know that he knew he could do that. He's objected to almost every single thing that's happened every step of the way along this court process. Anyway, that's where we're going to leave it. You guys, you're amazing. We will see you all in the morning. As you can see, I'm much more energized. It's amazing what a little ibuprofen and a little bit of food can do. I feel great, and I'm going to get some rest tonight. We're going to come back tomorrow. We'll be here early, so I'll be here probably 8 o'clock in the morning. If you want to join me that early, we'll try to get all set and get everybody together so we can all watch this together as it happens. Thank you, guys. You're amazing. Hug everybody you love. Stay safe, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Bye.